In the year 330, the Roman Empire was split into two parts, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. Unfortunately though, the Western Roman Empire was put into the hands of Jared, who promptly dropped it all over the floor and broke it. Good job, Jared. The eastern half though actually got to stick around for a while and is now referred to as the Byzantine Empire by most historians. Unfortunately though, the Byzantines aren't around any longer because Jared is a moron who also dropped that. But what if he didn't? What if Jared went to holding things school and didn't drop the Byzantines all over the floor? Well, wonder no longer, my friend, as I have put them back into the world of Victoria 3 for your entertainment. You're welcome. And so we have Byzantium. The AI's aggressiveness has been cranked up to make things actually happen because the AI actually hates doing anything in this game. So further ado, we'll just unpause and see what happens. Immediately we have the aggressive AI mod taking hand, and oh my god, that is a lot of wars. Looks like Russia's actually trying to make a push down into Central Asia and win the great game, as it has been dubbed. I do find it quite refreshing to actually see the AI going to war with each other, because as it stands right now, the AI, just very rare to see them go to war with each other over really anything, period. And I know that might be historically accurate, but it's boring as hell. Interesting little war up here. Looks like Sweden is actually trying to form Scandinavia for themselves by subjugating Denmark. That could make for a pretty interesting game, all things considered. And looks like we actually have the first war for the Byzantines, but it is a defensive war as the Ionian Islands want to conquer Peloponnese and Attica, so we'll see what happens there. Looks like Sweden was actually struggling quite a bit to conquer Denmark and got Norway taken away from them. Afghanistan just ate Kalat and Macron, so now we have a pretty big Afghanistan down here. They'll be going to war with Persia, it seems like. Kind of looks like the East India Company is making a few pushes in. They've completely eaten Burma, so that's pretty cool for them. And it looks like the Sikh Empire has kind of been balkanized as they've lost all but one of their states and Kashmir has been freed. Interesting war down in South America. Ecuador is gone to war with Peru, Bolivia, who has also gone to war with Brazil. And Bolivia, Peru has now been balkanized itself. And Paraguay actually making quite a push into Argentina. That is something I've noticed, is that Paraguay very often is able to completely just beat up Argentina. And now we have Sweden at war with Paraguay. They're looking to conquer Paraguay and Mato Grosso, so very interesting. Yeah, we'll see what goes with that. I will be happy if the Byzantines declare even a single war in this whole run. That would be quite fun to see, to be honest. We have a very big Shua down here in Ethiopia. Morocco getting split between Spain and Mascara. And it looks like the Byzantines have actually gone to war and are taking over part of the Arabian Peninsula. They look to have annexed the Trucial State and part of the Casamite State? South America doesn't appear to be getting any better right now, as it just looks like an absolute cluster of nations down here. Though Bolivia is pretty much completely gone at this point, and for whatever reason, Sweden has decided that it wants this state down here that it absolutely cannot fund with its market, so I don't know what the hell it's doing. Byzantines are actually going to war and taking over quite a few little territories down here. It'll be interesting to see if the Byzantines can actually hold this empire together, because historically, they didn't. That's why they don't exist anymore, because they didn't hold it together. Looks like Prussia is actually going to war with the Byzantines to conquer Cyprus, Adena, and Aden. Though the Byzantines do have the Austrians on their side, so this is most likely just going to be a war between those two powers and probably have nothing to do with the Byzantines whatsoever. Though it doesn't look like it's going to matter, as Prussia's getting absolutely manhandled by the Austrians at this moment. And looks like Shua is actually really looking to unite Ethiopia down here. Having annexed Tigray, it looks like they're trying to push into the actual Horn of Africa at this point. And an interesting war here, we have Shua going to war with Egypt. This is actually an Egyptian war of aggression, though the problem with that being is that Egypt doesn't have any troops. Only got 9 as opposed to Shua's 54, so yeah, I'm really not sure what they're trying to do here, but hey, who knows? Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Looks like the numbers advantage doesn't even matter for Shua, as Egypt is absolutely pummeling them. Shua completely unable to defend itself. Looks like Egypt's gonna actually take a few states from them, and looks very unlikely that Ethiopia will form in this game. I didn't point it out earlier, but the Ottoman Empire does still technically exist down here in the middle of Arabia, technically where Iraq would be. Unfortunately, the revival of the Byzantines means the complete eradication of the Ottoman Empire. Egypt has pretty much completely bullied Shuwa at this point. They're gonna have a pretty hard time coming back from that one. And we got another war between the Byzantines and Oman. Looks like the Byzantines are looking to further expand their reach down into Arabia. Oddly enough, we have the Dutch East Indies in Canada. I guess if that's what they wanted, then they can have it. And South America just not looking any better whatsoever. It's actually looking quite a bit worse. And did Argentina just get eaten by Chile? And they're at war with Paraguay as well. Looks like the Argentinians have actually migrated to, yeah, a little bit north. We got Sweden taking more random states out of South America for some reason. I'm not sure why that's their biggest priority right now, but I guess if that's what they want. Not sure why, but Paraguay seems to be, like, absolutely ripped in this game, just absolutely bullying people with aggressive AI turned on. So the only problem is they don't have any war goals, so I'm not sure what the hell they're trying to do right now. And for whatever reason, Uruguay thinks that it can take Rio de Janeiro from Paraguay. They do have America on their side though, so that actually could give them exactly what they need to win this war. Looks like Austria is actually fighting two Sicilies down here, looking to take a bunch of stuff for themselves. Though, only problem is they're getting pushed into by Prussia pretty hard right now. And Austria did actually take quite a few states from two Sicilies, and looks like Sweden actually did finally come back to annex part of Denmark, though they didn't take all of Denmark, as Denmark exists in Norway now. Britain is doing what it always likes to do, and is naval invading Russia. Looks like we actually have a Rhineland state popping out of Prussia. 20 minutes in, one crash. Let's go. Very good. Oh, Estonia and Latvia have both been liberated from the Russian Empire. Byzantines' weird war goal here, looking to annex Switzerland. And I didn't catch it earlier, but it looks like Hohenzollern down there has been annexed by the Byzantines, so that's kind of a cool turn of events. Tunis eating Tripolitania and now at war with Constantine. Actually a war of aggression on Constantine's part, and it's just not gonna matter because Tunis at this point is probably way too powerful for them to even handle. And looks like I was wrong. Ethiopia did actually end up forming. Looks like Russia has actually decided to join the Dutch East India Company and just taking small parts of Canada for themselves. Hopefully this is not a trend that continues, because I would prefer Canada to stay, you know, mostly intact. Looks like the Sikhs may be trying to actually revive their empire by taking Sind down here. Got a few more wars raging down in Germany. This little state down here belongs to Brazil. Brazilian Schleswig-Holstein. That's not supposed to happen. All things considered, as long as we ignore South America, the border gore is not that bad. Mexico fought a war against, I can only assume that was Haiti at that point, taking them over. Good for you, Mexico. Unlike in the last two videos, truces are still a thing in this one, so we aren't gonna see just as much chaos as we normally do, but still a decent amount of chaos. The Netherlands actually growing quite a few states as well, eating part of Westphalia. That's actually a pretty high GDP region for them. And another Netherlands conquest. Looks like more of Denmark has been booted out of Denmark. East India Company now looking to humiliate the Byzantines. I can say that would have been my first guess, but the Byzantines want to humiliate the East India Company back, so at this point, I guess it's just whatever, you know? You win some, you lose some. Right now, I'm losing watching states humiliate each other. Sokoto doing a little bit of expanding down here in Africa. Maybe they'll actually do something useful for once in the game. Got Portugal taking over Madagascar down here in Africa. Russia was not too fond of Circassia down here and decided they'd rather just have that. Praying every minute that South America starts to look a little bit better than what it currently is. Still not fantastic by any means, but I guess it could be worse. Persia's absolutely hurting right now, but Afghanistan seems to be doing a little bit better for itself. It can at least get its other states in its market now, so that's good for them, I guess. Switzerland eating both Württemberg and Baden. We'll see if any significance comes from that. Spain seems to be benefiting from the aggressiveness of its AI. Well, I asked for South America to get a little bit better, and I has responded by doing the exact opposite, as Brazil did take over Ecuador, but Ecuador moved further into Brazil. Though I am very happy to see the Byzantines actually asserting more of their dominance in the region. Unfortunately though, the Byzantines seem pretty intent on taking the worst combination of states possible. As the current standings go, the Byzantines are actually in 5th place, though that's kind of just due to the fact that no one else really has that much prestige. Though they are more powerful than the US. Great Qing actually looking pretty good, annexing some of its subjects. Looks like Nepal is actually getting kind of clapped right now. Rest in peace, Nepal. Great Qing just annexed the Dalai Lama. South America is maybe trying to fix itself slowly. Brazil is doing a pretty good job at eating a lot of states. I just wish they would eat them more consistently. Byzantine's looking to do a better job forming the Ottoman Empire than the Ottoman Empire ever did. You know, funnily enough, it looks like the only thing left of Argentina is actually this little colony down here in the middle of nowhere. 500 GDP. That is all they have. Yeah, that's not really ideal, one would say. And Victoria 3 actually managed to give us a decent little bug here, as Jabal Shamar is still around, but also not. If I click to observe them, I'm very much the Byzantine Empire, so we'll see if that gets fixed anytime soon, I guess. Impressively enough, Sokoto is actually starting to do something down in Africa, conquering a lot of their neighbors and looking to conquer more. And every time I want this to get better, it just doesn't. We got Grand Colombia now, but New Granada as well, and Sweden. Grand Colombia and Sweden should not have a border. I'm sorry, that's just bad. Okay, it looks like things finally did figure themselves out. Jabal Shamar is a dominion of Byzantium, so that's why they were looking like that, I guess. But all things considered, I am very happy with what the Byzantines have done here. This is an incredibly nice border. Another thing I like looking at is a very rectangular Austria. Something about it is just very satisfying to me. And Sweden said, get the hell out of here, Estonia and Lithuania. You belong to me now. Thank you, Byzantium, for being such an omega chad with your borders. Holy crap, I love this. I love what you're doing with the place, Byzantium. This is incredible. I love you. Thank you very much. And I think South America may be starting to clean itself up. Byzantium and Spain decided to split Tunis down the middle. I'm fine with this. Somehow, though, Spain lost its colony. That's kind of awkward. Lost it to a native uprising. Very cool, Spain. You keep doing you. All that land has to be recolonized now, so great job. Though I am really digging this Byzantium border. I can't say that would be my first choice, Byzantium. Belgium just took over another pretty big portion of the Netherlands. Well, Sikh Empire finally managing to annex its puppet, doing just a little bit better than what it used to be. Central Asia actually looks a lot better than what it used to. I'm pretty okay with these borders. You incompetent buffoon, what have you done? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Well, that's kinda cool. We have a Zulu nation taking over a pretty big part of South Africa. I'm okay with this. I like this. As aggressive as the AI has been, this Europe is actually not too bad. We have a few enclaves here and there every now and then, but honestly, this is not bad. Paraguay, please get rid of Chile next time, please. And Brazil finally gets rid of Sweden from South America, and time. This is the date that I told myself I would play to, because now the game is going very, very slowly. Slower than what I want to actually put up with. So, how'd Byzantium do? I think they did pretty damn well, to be honest. These borders are looking nice. We got, you know, a little bit of border gore over here in the west and over here in the east, but honestly, that is not bad at all. The worst of it is probably the fact that they have this little state down here, Hohenzollern. Not sure why they took that of all things, but hey, I guess it works for them. Take a look and see other places. Looks like Austria did pretty well up in Europe, Hanover did pretty well for themselves, and Belgium did quite well. We have Switzerland actually doing something for once in their life. Scandinavia got a little bit balkanized. South America got a lot balkanized. And North America, I've seen worse. And China did a little bit of expansion, lost a few territories to itself. Not too bad, all things considered. Indonesia is as Indonesia does. Looks like it's solidifying into the hands of a few powers. And this is what the world finally looks like in the end. Honestly, I think this was a pretty neat scenario, having the Byzantines around. If you like content like this, let me know. Think of any other nations that you want to see if they existed. I honestly expected the aggressive AI mod to cause a lot more border gore than it did, but honestly, this is pretty good. I'm content with this. But anyway, guys, that is going to conclude this video. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.